Hey there, everyone. My name's Darth, and this is my submission for Jane's coaching competition. I'm going from it from the point of view of an analyst, so I will be analyzing Dallas Fuel's defense to see if I can find any holes in their defense and get through with a composition change and a strategy. For now, let's start by watching what the Philadelphia Fusion do and how the Dallas Fuel respond to it. So we're going to see that the Dallas Fuel is going to be responding to the Devil Sniper from the Philadelphia Fusion. So the Philadelphia Fusion are going to be trying to just pick everything down, just like shoot everything from long range, avoid any sort of engagements until their dive tanks are ready. The issue with this is that we're going to have Seagull up top actually specifically of like blocking this. So you're going to have Seagull up top by the window with Harry just going, okay, you want to come through the window? You got to come through me first. Well, okay. That's a good thing to start off with. And also, Taimu is going to rotate. As soon as he sees them go left, he's going to rotate. And he's going to have just kabang. Look at this line of sight. It's basically from the choke point all the way down here. Like, huge sight line. And so what you're going to see is you're going to see Philadelphia Fusion try and push Carpe, EQO, not Diva, EQO Hotba, and Neptuno all through this little hole and try and get around back here. And Lord knows what Boombox is going to do because there's two big tanks here. It's pray that you're going to see OGE and Mickey rotate to try and stop the group of four, which seems like a rather ridiculous idea at this point. So Boombox is apparently just a sacrificial lamb. But Boombox isn't the one who dies here. It's actually Neptuno. Dies due to that sightline from Taimu. Look at Taimu, just rotates over with Unko and goes boom. Bye-bye. And then Seagull just jumps onto Carpe. When Carpe comes over here, Neptuno gets absolutely deleted. You have Hotba and EQO over here. But Seagull just and Harry just do this. Easy delete. Right? So push number 2. They actually just kind of have Taimu move around a little bit just to avoid sight lines and such. He kind of starts out more over here to get some recon, see if they're running the same comp, which they do. And they try the exact same thing. How does it work? Well, not so great. Because you're going to see Sato dive point, and time is just going to be over here. Nobody's going to deal with Sato. Dallas Fuel doesn't care about Sato right now, especially when he dives in like that. So you're going to have these two here. You're going to hope Neptuno just and everybody just get through, and then maybe it'll work. Spoiler alert, it doesn't. And then you're going to see the switch to dive. But first, let's take a look at this next fight here. We're going to skip forward a little bit. So you're seeing posturing at the point. Okay, Taimu up in the right-hand side of point instead of on the left-hand side where he was before, just to get some recon, maybe get a couple shots off. Sees that they're trying the same window strategy again. Seagulls up defending. Cool. It's a body shot on Carpe. Carpe has to retreat. Okay, see, Seagull's just bullying everybody back there. Like, look at this. Two people try to come up. Whoop. Bye-bye. See ya. You're not allowed. And so again, they try this. Except Hotba manages to get up here. So best strategy so far, right? Basically, Seagull just gets demech'd, throws bomb, gets Neptuno, feels Overwatch, man. This fight's kind of over from here because you don't have your main support. Boombox can't get in. You have 0 healing, so Dallas just kind of go, okay, well, we'll just collapse, get free staggers, and that's the end of the fight. So then Philadelphia go, okay, this is probably a bad plan. We need to switch to full dive. So full dive it is. Ikyo goes over to Genji, and Carpe goes over to Tracer. So bye-bye. Widow goes away. Hanzo goes away. And interestingly enough, we're going to start seeing pretty much a similar tactic. We get to see EQO. You're going to see the tanks push in on main. And then we're going to see EQO rotate over here. Carpe, get over here. And then we're going to see where that goes. So on to the next fight. So you're seeing Carpe kind of staging to get across. Okay, Neptune almost gets 1 clip by Seagull here. That's just kind of bad practice. So then here, we're going to see them actually start to bully here. Comes in. Starts doing a bunch of damage. Okay, Sato just goes, okay, we're going to create space. Primal Rage, let's go. Carpe runs away in the back. So Seagull's coming back to point here because he saw Carpe dashing around the back and probably heard that EQO was flanking as well. And what's going to happen from here? Unko gets forced trance by Sato. Okay. Not a huge deal. But look at this. Tanks get pushed out. Okay. Well, now you have 2 flankers on your butt. What are you going to do about that? Apparently, you're just going to get picked because Taimu gets absolutely wrecked, drawing all of the Dallas Fuel back to try and protect Taimu and Harry as he reses Taimu. So Harry does get the res off, but Taimu does Taimu things and just clicks Carpe in the head. Feels bad, man, Philadelphia. That's all I have to say to that is, yep, that just happens. But the more interesting part is Hotba deleting OGE along with Sato, because you ended up with kind of a situation where you had a very stacked fight, because you have both your flankers are kind of out here doing this thing. Everybody's rotated back. Like, their whole team is here. And you leave essentially 4-1. It's going to go bad for the 1 no matter what you do. So OG is dead. OG is no longer taking space, which allows the dive to get in for free, especially in the next fight, if he doesn't get back in time. So this is huge. Huge weakness here. You're starting to see that if you take this front line and weaken them, it's a very, very big weak point. Which kind of brings me to one of the 2 possible solutions that I've come up with. But it is the weaker of the 2 solutions. Going back, we're going to continue. So you see Mickey doing Brigitte things, keeping people off the point. And then they just kind of clean up because they get numbers advantage, right? It's kind of what happens when you get an early pick like that on one of the flankers. The flankers kind of have to separate. And then Neptuno had to pop into the open a few seconds ago. So when Neptuno dies to Harry, but it's for a different reason than you think. If you look, Neptuno actually gets chunked by a Widowmaker body shot, and then gets chunked by, I believe, a Zen Orb, and then dies. So you see, there was a lot more damage going on than is actually being showed in the kill feed, because Harry actually didn't just whip out the pistol and 1v1 Neptuno. Neptuno was already really hurt from just being in the open for too long against Taimu. And this is one of the huge things that Philly did wrong, is they allowed Taimu to just have insane amounts of sightlines on their team at almost all times, because they were almost forced into bad spots. And if you look, as soon as they start getting these picks, watch where the tanks in the backline go. They don't go like off into help with trance. Nope. Turn around. Wait for it. The whole front line and back line. Look at them. Look at them. They're hiding. Like outside the point. Where Mickey can just be like, I press shield. I look around the corner in third person. And I go, there's a Genji. There's a Mercy. And they're absolutely free for the rest of our team to kill. But it doesn't matter because Taimu just rotates around out. So we'll go back to our top view here. And you're going to see that in this situation, you have Neptuno here. You have EQO here. Carpe's dead. You have Hot Buzzsome over here. You have Sato being a nuisance over near the point. Wait, where the hell is Sato? Right, Sato's being a nuisance on the point. That's right. I was correct. Sato's over here somewhere, being annoying. And so all of a sudden, they call this out. Mickey's over here, Seagull's over here, Harry's over here. And Uncle's dead. Well, Uncle's actually back here. And so all that Taimu has to do is it's like, hey, Hotba's still kind of rotating. Back to come over with his team going like this. Taimu goes, ooh, free support. Pops over. Takes a shot. Click. And then Harry just kind of pops his head over back here. And then goes, oh, take a shot. Ta-da! And there's a dead Neptuno. Again, not respecting the sightlines, and they're playing dive, but they're diving literally just like as a clump into things. They're not using the whole idea of dive, which is the mobility to be able to surround people. And when you're surrounding people, that's when dive is strongest. And that's also when Brigitte is weakest. So the odd part is they completely flub this up, get wiped, and then they come back with the next fight. But the next fight, EQO just goes, oh, I'm gonna Dragon Blade, there's a Mercy here. Kadoom. Bump, dead. This last fight really didn't matter because it was just a desperation dive. There was no way that they could actually get anything done because there's only about 10 seconds left. Especially with the heroes that they were running. They needed to set up a dive. It needed to kind of be a little bit slower, more methodical, as Stage 4 is with dive. You can still play dive in Stage 4 of Overwatch League. Brigitte isn't that overpowered. There's just like at the top levels, the pros are just so good that they can actually play around it. And especially with teamwork, you can play around a Brigitte. You just attack her from multiple sides. Or you overwhelm her with obscene amounts of people. One of the two. And so this is kind of where you're seeing the cracks in the armor. You're seeing, okay, you can overwhelm this team because they don't have very much damage. What do they have for damage? They have a Widowmaker. Okay, cool. A damage boosted Widowmaker just does a lot of damage. I'll give it that. Not necessarily that great, though. When you're thinking about it in terms of just raw DPS that they can get to the point, especially where they're stationed. I mean, Unko can questionably get damage in, but look at the sightline. And this is where the disadvantage comes in. Look at Unko's sightline. Okay. What am I going to hit? The other side of the door? No. If I'm Unko, if I move out here, and I get sightlines over here, I'm in danger of getting my head taken off if they have double sniper. So Unko's not going to sit back here. He's going to sit back here where he can harmony his team and be happy. And Taimu, that's where he's going to try to rotate between, is being able to see all of the choke and be able to rotate to see all of left side, right? You're going to be able to see the choke. You're going to be able to see window. Good, good, good. Taimu rotates as he did before. He gets another cool set of sight lines where it's like, ooh, I get most of choke, all of window, and into the left-hand side. Are you seeing a gap in where they can defend with this comp? Give you a hint. Right here. Right here. You're going to be able to get into this room fairly easily because there's only 2 people defending the choke. And since you have... They have to use cooldowns to get to you with either Mercy or Diva. So that's actually a big advantage for any team. You're going to want to just run in at that point and go, hey, we're going to run into this room and do the thing. Right? If you're Philly, I'll make you nice and orange. You're going to want to be like, woof, and then you get a free Zen after you kill the Reinhardt, because Reinhardt's there. They have to, the Diva has to burn cooldowns to get to you, which is super bad for the defending team. Burning cooldowns to come in like this and do that. So, one of my responses was I thought, okay, we do dive. And you could just set up flankers in the back like they did and get the 5 to pull back. But I think getting 5 people to pull back was actually kind of a fluke more than an actual thing that they'll do all the time. I don't think you're going to see Dallas Fuel reacting in that way all the time. And so that's a big issue. So now I will show you the comp that I believe will be able to take down the Dallas Fuel, especially if you're the Houston Outlaws. So what do we have here? We have our beautiful, beautiful thing we like to call a Jake Rat. We have Linkser on Hog. Cool Mat on Zarya, because you're probably going to want to run Diva second point if your push doesn't work through onto B. And you're going to have Boink or Bonnie. I would say probably Bonnie, because you're looking at probably running Ada on B for defense. And then Raucous, Moira. And Muma Fact Fiction. They're both fantastic Reinhardts. We'll say Muma because better team synergy. Right? So from here, what you end up doing is you take this whole core and you can spam from choke for a little bit, right? Because look at Taimu's sightlines. You can abuse this and go, well, Taimu can't see most of the team. What does he see? He sees a Hog and maybe the Reinhardt, obviously. And like the corner of a Zarya. Not a huge thing to shoot at. Even if Taimu moves over like this, you get this. And then, okay, you get Zarya. But your supports and your DPS are hiding. They're behind a corner where Jake can easily do his Junkratty thing and just throw mines and bombs into there, into Brig, so that you can burst down these two at the choke and break shield. That's also why you're putting Linkser on Hog, because that's a ton of pressure on that shield. That shield isn't going to last long, and if Taimu starts taking shots, or Mickey moves up to try and stun somebody, you're going to essentially just go, oh, Zarya bubble. What does your stun mean when they get bubbled? Nothing. It just gives the Zarya charge. Cool. So once you start wearing OGE's shield down, as soon as it runs out, you just want to essentially use the tanks, and the tanks only, to just thud by OGE and have the two supports kind of poke a little bit around the corner so they can get the healing onto them. And even if you burn a cooldown here, they're not going to be able to stop Zarya laser with D.Va. Huge bonus. They're not going to be able to actually stop Hook either. With D.Va, you can just pull the D.Va in, hook her, demech her. It's fine. The Mercy's probably not going to want to come into here because there's just a lot of stuff going on. You're going to see if the Mercy has to fly in to try and heal things, probably going to have to hide around this corner and be safe, or has to kind of come around here to be like, oh no, I'm going to need to escape to like Unko or Taimu. Well, if you're standing here, you get junk needed and bad things happen. So the Mercy's going to have to play a little bit more defensively in this case. But as soon as you've dealt, essentially you're taking a 4v6 here, where the Junkrat has an advantage. Is that even a question about whether you take that or not? No, you just take it. From there, you're obviously going to get probably 3 of them, right? Things go well, you get 3 of them. You get these 3. So, out of the picture. Either Baby D.Va or demech entirely. From there, I'm going to erase all my lines. We're going to take our big ball of hurt and just throw them in here. With speed boost. And then from there, well, actually, you're not going to use speed boost here. You're just going to put shield up, walk forward, because what do they have? They have a damage boosted Widow or a damage boosted Zenyatta. And Unko is not Jonak. Unko cannot do the wild work that Jonak can. If this was NYXL, they wouldn't be running this comp. B, you'd be worried about the Zen and you'd be running something a little bit different. So from here, you're going to want to speed boost all of your people. Boom. You run over the Zen. Or if the Zen starts running back, you're still speed boosting. You're going to catch these 3 back here. What's the Widow going to do? Jump here? So what? You just basically keep your supports hugged against the wall. And you get to delete their supports. From there, move to point. And you're probably wondering at this point, why are you not talking about alts? And essentially what I'm trying to say is you don't need alts. The Slambulance comp works because you don't use alts. You just go and you slam into stuff, you take engagements on your own terms because you're running that Lucio. You're running in, slamming them down. And that's how I take point A against Dallas Fuel. Essentially just force them all out by just running at them with big, meaty things. It works really well. But it works really well in this case because how easy it is to overwhelm a Brigitte. A Brigitte is good when you're like, oh, I stun one person. They get melted by the rest of my team because we have a ton of damage. What do you have for damage? You have OGE. Okay. Reasonable amount of damage. But again, we have a Moira healing about the same amount. And with Healing Orb, you're healing more than what OGs can put out damage-wise. So you're running with Brigitte standard swing damage and maybe micro missiles. Not a huge threat to tanks, especially to tanks like Roadhog, Zarya, where you can just run bubbles or you can run heal. Completely sheds all that damage, especially the burst damage. Like, that's all that they have is their tank's burst damage to take you down at the choke. And that burst damage cannot get through a big meaty ball of tanks because tanks don't do excessive amounts of burst damage. They do just about what they need. And that's how you take point A against the Dallas Fuel. The difficult part about this, though, is I doubt that they would run this comp again against the Houston Outlaws. Specifically the Houston Outlaws, because they don't use dive. And not using dive is a huge, huge aspect of why you wouldn't use this comp. You would use this comp because you know Philly Fusion is a sick dive team. You'd run this comp against Boston on Hanamura, though they didn't play Boston on Hanamura. But you'd run something similar against Boston. Boston runs a sick dive team. What does this do? This stops dive. Plain and simple. It doesn't stop a solid, strong Slambulance comp. It will stop a Deathball comp, just because there is more squishies on your team, and Taimu clicks heads, and Brigitte does very well against squishies. Brigitte doesn't do well against heroes with large health pools because she cannot use her stun swing knockback combo against things with more than 200 health, because even things with 200 health need to actually take some incidental damage before that actually kills them. So it's a pretty great setup. Run in, smack them in the face. Done. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.